good morning, and yes, happy Tuesday from sunny San Diego. In fact, so sunny, I'm just going to put some more light on over here. Now, about a year and a half ago, I started talking about hidden values in things that we often take for granted, the value of something or other and the value of something or other. And every once in a while, I added to that with another the value of something episode. And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, I came up with the value of simplicity. And I talked about an awesome to-do list hack that I had discovered, because I'm very much into David Allen's getting things done, but it can be complicated. And I found this absolutely brilliantly simple thing that would help a lot of people to get started. And then I realized that there were other things that we miss, that we make too complicated, that can actually be really, 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 really simplified. And last week I talked about checklists, because I think we overlook checklists because we're taught them when we're kids. And I think probably the only checklist that most people use is a shopping list. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about shopping lists in a minute. But that was about checklists. And I said, I'm going to talk about templates at some point. Well, this is that point. Okay, I look a bit odd because I look as though I'm pinker on one side than the other. Anyway, okay, I'll slap that a little bit. There we go. Now they're equally pink. Right. Before we go on any further, let's talk about who we are and what we're doing. I'm Andrea Kuchin, and I'm part of PhD in Follow-Up. And PhD in Follow-Up produces My Home Biz Tips. My Home Biz Tips being a training series that we created in order to help small business owners get more out of their businesses, because it's not that easy necessarily. And a lot of business owners go into business thinking they can do what it is they love, and then they realize they get caught up in doing all the admin of the business, right? If you have any questions or need to contact me in any way, shape or form, you can call or text me on 858-252-1190, 858-252-1190. The numbers right here. See? If you prefer email, and that's totally fine, you can do that too. You can reach me on andrea@phdandfollowup.com. PhD and Follow-Up has been running for a little over 10 years, with the idea of teaching business owners about the follow-up, which is usually the missing bit in their marketing sequence or their marketing strategy. And then we realized they didn't actually have a marketing strategy, and that's how the whole thing started. For more information about what we do, go to phdandfollowup.com/Andrea Kuchin, because we do an awful lot more than just follow-up and just My Home Biz Tips right now. And if you're not in our Facebook group, where this is running live, but it's running live in other places too, if you're not in the Facebook group, join the Facebook group as quick as you can. Okay, so this episode is called The Value of Simplicity. I'm just going to put that on the screen because I forgot to do that. Simplicity, part 3, templates. Okay. I am, as some people know, I don't talk about it very often, but I'm a planner nerd, an absolute complete hooked planner nerd. And I have been for at least 30 years, since my brother incredibly kindly gave me my first Filofax. And I fell in love with the whole concept and the whole system. And I now create my own planners and do all sorts of other stuff in connection with planners. Drive myself nuts looking for new ways of doing things and new systems and new strategies and everything. But I also follow other people who are into this subject. And many years ago, I came across a lady who had a shopping list that she reprinted every week. And I remember thinking, that is way over the top, way over the top. Who needs that and who wants that? Well, I find myself converted. Because a shopping list is a to-do list in a sense that you need to do the things on the list. It's also a checklist in the sense that you literally check the things off. And it's also a template. Now, what she said she used to do was print it. She lived in a home with lots of people. She and her husband had lots of children, some of whom were sort of grown up, half grown up, not even grown up at all. And so she was dealing with lots of people's needs and wants. So she would print this out, and it was listed in sections. And whenever anybody found something they wanted, or they used up the last something or other, they would just check it on the list. And then when she went shopping, she would know what she needed. But I have been thinking about that recently, and I've implemented it in other areas of my life. And let's talk about shopping lists, because I think they're familiar concept, at least, even if not actually familiar, to pretty much everybody. And I don't know how many of you use them. I have always used one, and even my husband is now trained. When he uses the second to last of something, he has to write it on the list, which sticks on the fridge in the kitchen all the time. And you know what happened? Life became way too repetitive, because it would be, I've just used up the last pack of butter, so I know I need to buy butter. Or I've just used up the last cheese, I need to buy cheese. I've just used up the last eggs, I need to buy eggs. I would put things on my list. Oops, that was the end of the broccoli, put the broccoli on the list. Can you see what might happen here if you work that way? The same stuff gets put on your list every single week. Now, that's great for people who eat a relatively restricted diet, which we do. I mean, we don't eat, well, for health reasons, there's a lot of stuff that we don't eat. But when I serve the last of the salmon and then I repeat it with salmon, I forget all the other types of fish that we could be eating, right? Or I get rid of the last of the chicken. I forget what other meats there are that we could be eating. If I have a list in front of me that lists all the things that I could eat or I might buy, then that makes life much easier, because I think, oh, you know, this week we're going to order cod or prawns, shrimp, or something like that, instead of the salmon, which ended up on the shopping list because we're about to run out. Does that make sense? In the days when we would go to the supermarket regularly, it would be easier because you would see things and think, oh, we haven't had that for a long time, I'll get one of those. But now that so much of our stuff is delivered to us, we don't have that stimulation of our memory anymore, and we forget. So we find ourselves eating the same stuff all the time. Now, obviously, we would eat those things normally, but there is a lot missing because it's become a habit to buy what we run out of, rather than looking at the options that we have available to us, which I would do with a list that has everything on it that we might eat. Because maybe one week we want spinach instead of broccoli, or mushrooms, or, you know, something like that. So it helps remember. Now, all of these things that I talk about are designed to make life simple and easy, because when life is simple and easy with the boring everyday stuff, and you're not trying to remember it, and this is David Allen quoted almost verbatim, your mind is not designed to hold data. It's designed to be creative and come up with ideas. So if you clutter it up with what do I have to buy when I do my grocery order or when I go to the grocery store, you're missing out on the opportunity of being creative with something else. And in your business, if you're spending time and energy and thought processes on what am I going to do here? How am I going to do this? It takes away your chance at being more creative and thinking outside the box about all sorts of other things to do with your business, or just focusing on the promotion of your business, for example, right? Because I know a lot of you are still struggling. A lot of you still don't have the number of clients that you need, okay? And that is my purpose, to help you clear away what seems to be complicated by making it super simple. And that allows you more time to do the stuff. Also, you don't want to be doing your admin. You want to be doing your stuff, whatever that is, whether you're a coach or a massage therapist, or you've got an MLM product that you're selling, or you're writing music or doing copywriting or whatever it is. You want to be selling that. You don't want to be spending your time doing the admin associated with your business. So that's my purpose. So this is a checklist template, which I actually have as a notepad. Somebody gave it to me. It's a notepad. I tore the top page off, right? And it shows you that's how you do a checklist. Now, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about, but that is part of it. And I did mention last week that you can have a checklist that you print. Now, what I have done is I have created a spreadsheet of all the things I have to do on a daily basis in my home and in my business. So in my business, it would be, for example, I need to check my main email account, and then my PhD email account, and then my Home Biz Tips email account, and then my Mama Millionaire's email account, and then a couple of others, which I forget about sometimes because I get caught up in the other stuff, right? Because they're now on a checklist, it's easy to remember, right? Then I need to check my 5 something, and then I need to check my something else, and then I need to check something else first thing in the morning, just to make sure everything's working properly. Again, I could forget those if I don't have a list. So all these things exist in a spreadsheet, and it's by day. It can be by week, or it can be by month. Doesn't matter. You can create a spreadsheet for a whole month, or you can create a spreadsheet just for a week. At the moment, I have it for a week because I'm using a very narrow little book, and it just fits my list and my 5 days, 7 days, right? My working things I try not to do at weekends, but there are some things I still need to do. And then I literally go through and I check them off. It's the same with my supplements. Have I taken this one? Have I taken that one? Because some of them need to be taken with food, some of them without food, some of them early in the day, some of them later in the day. I don't want to have to remember. And having a pre-printed list that I can edit. The other benefit of doing it every week is because if something changes, anything changes, I can add that in and rerun it for the following week, right? So that's what's important. That's what makes life simpler and easier so that you can enjoy everything else. Now, that's checklist templates. There are also other templates. Templates are simply something that you create so that you can redo a simple task more quickly and more easily the next time. Now, some time ago, like 18 months ago, probably, if not longer, I created a video called The Magic of Google, in which I showed lots of things that a lot of people don't know are possible with Google. And one of them was templates for email. Now, you can also create templates for to-dos. You can create all sorts of other things because you can use their to-do list or their tasks, I think they call it. You can use their note-taking app, which is Keep, which also has checklists, which you can check, and then you can uncheck them again so they're there again the next day, like a template. Same kind of thing. I know some people quite like to do that. You can do similar things in iCloud as well. They have their notes section that has checklists, and then they have their reminders, which actually ping you a little alarm. I've got them on my phone. I get a ping with a little alarm saying, okay, you need to do this now. And I can even set it to a time so that there's a particular time that I get reminded. I also have Alexa, and I ask her to tell me to do certain things at certain times. And that even shows up on my phone. The magic of technology. Anyway, going back to Google, when there are emails that you write frequently, like signing up a new customer and doing an onboarding process, you probably write the same email. Or some of your promotion emails, they're pretty much the same. They might not actually be the same because you're rewriting them every time, but the more often you write them, the more similar they will be. They can be the same. You can create templates, and you can do it in Google. And then all you do is you find the template and it creates a new email with all those words in. And all you have to do is then change the name. It even has the subject. You change the name of the person you're sending it to. You might change a couple of the details inside. If you've booked an appointment for somebody to have a Zoom call with you, for example, and you did that on the phone and you're confirming it with them, it might be a different Zoom link, but everything else will be the same. It was lovely talking to you today. I'm so glad you're interested in finding out more about the blah de blah. I look forward to talking to you next Tuesday at 11, and here's the Zoom link, something like that. All you have to do is just put in a new Zoom link, which you can connect to your calendar so that it creates the link automatically for you when you make the appointment while you're on the phone talking to your potential client or whatever it is. So when you create templates, and be creative with this, because you can create templates with a lot more stuff than you imagine, not just a shopping list and a to-do list. But like I said, your emails, the emails that you send out often, and you'll find that even when not, you still write the same kind of stuff in every email. You still probably have lots of emails that start, it was lovely talking to you today, something, something. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, or speaking with you again soon, or hearing from you soon. You can create templates that just have the top and the tail, and you can fill in the middle. It makes life so much easier than having to rethink everything every single time. So I learnt a tremendous amount by looking at a shopping list, even though my initial reaction was, who on earth needs something like that? So much detail. I don't like to be controlled with every single thing all the time. I like to be able to mix it up and do something different and be creative occasionally. But I have really found that that's much easier when all the stuff, the rubbish, the boring, same old, same old, same old, same old, is handled in a way that I don't even notice, because I really don't even notice certain things anymore. Don't even notice I do them. It's like getting in a car and driving. You drive to the grocery store, and then you get there and you're at the grocery store, and you can think, wow, I don't even remember getting here, because I wasn't conscious of the process of getting there. Your admin in your business will become the same. You'll be so able to focus on what it is about doing your business that you love, because the boring everyday things will become so routine, because you've got all these things set up. You've got your task lists, you've got your checklists, you've got your templates, and it'll be so easy and so smooth to do everything, and you will really start to enjoy your life. So if you want a little bit more help about using Google particularly, go and find The Magic of Google video. It's in YouTube somewhere, and it's also in the group. and you'll probably be able to find it if you scroll through LinkedIn and so on, because those are the 3 places that I broadcast to live. So that was it. That's the training for today. Thank you so much for being with me. I really, really appreciate it. I know your time's precious. That's why I always try to give you something really valuable. And the series, The Value Of, is designed to show you that there are certain things that you might not be maximizing to their full potential. And this simplicity thing, it's incredible how much easier life can be, because the more complicated it gets, the easier and the simpler you want it to be, so that you can have fun with all the complicated stuff to do with your actual business, your actual career, the thing that you want to do, and the thing that you were put here to do, because we need it. That's why you're here. We need what you do. The world needs that thing that you can do, in the words of the awesome Marie Forleo, right? You were created to do something special. Do that. And let's make the admin of your business that supports that as simple as it can possibly be. Okay, that was that. I'm Andrea Kuchin, as I said earlier, 858-262-1190, Andrea at PhD and Follow Up. I will be back here again next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, have a glorious week and take care.